Hello and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review AJR's 2017 album, The Click. This album has their first really big hits on it and is pretty good as a result of that. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks I added to my playlist, 8 out of 13, so around 2/3. This album is mostly good, but it's a bit all over the place. Some of the songs are really good, and some of them are really not that great. The lyrics are probably the weakest part overall here. The actual music is generally pretty decent. There are some tracks in which the lyrics are kind of distracting from the song, unfortunately. Netflix Trip is a good example of that in my opinion, but some of the other tracks as well. The music is pretty good, but it isn't incredible enough to outshine some of the wackier lyrics and sounds scattered throughout the album. So if you like sort of that techno stuff, it's pretty good, but if you don't like that stuff, then this album is probably not going to be that great. The flow is alright. Overture is a great opener, similar to the Overture from their last album. Weak, Sober Up, and Drama are a great sort of 3-track run to start off the album, and from there the tracks alternate between slower and faster, which is pretty similar to their previous album. No Grass Today and 3:30 are faster, Call My Dad is slow, I'm Not Famous is fast, and Netflix Trip is slow. The final track, Come Hang Out, is a great choice for ending. Kind of a mid-speed but still surprisingly upbeat track that ends the album on a pretty interesting note. The genre here is a lot more poppy than their other album, but there's still a lot of techno and funk stuff going on, so it doesn't sound too samey or boring. Still, it's not really distinct enough from other pop bands in my opinion. If you really don't like late 2010s pop music, you won't like this, even though it's a little bit different than kind of the most popular stuff. As an overall album, it's definitely good, but there are also definitely some not great songs here, so the album is not super strong as a result, but it definitely has enough stuff to be a good listen. There were 4 singles released before the album, Call My Dad, I'm Not Famous, Weak, and Drama. I think Weak was on the radio at the time a little bit, but the big hit here was Sober Up, 4th track, which was massively popular and all over the radio throughout 2018. They're really their first gigantic hit. My favorite song here is probably that final track, Come Hang Out, although I will say Sober Up is probably the best one here, probably most deserving of being the big hit, but it has been a bit overplayed, so I prefer to pick tracks that are a bit more not as popular, so Come Hang Out takes it. I rank this album higher than their 2015 album Living Room. I think Click is definitely a step up from Living Room, mostly due to the presence of some big hits here that Living Room doesn't have. The overall quality is actually pretty similar. For the most part, the average track on the Click is only a little bit better than the average track on Living Room. The album construction is similar, album flow is pretty much the same, and aside from Sober Up and maybe Come Hang Out, maybe Drama, Weak, the songs are on the same level of quality, so the album quality is nearly identical. So just a little bit of a couple of tracks on the Click that help have it stand above Living Room. Additionally, this album doesn't take my top spot from 2017, that stays with Imagine Dragons Evolve, which is nearly perfect and one of my favorite albums of all time. So, yeah, AJR doesn't really come close here. I really like Evolve. So, thank you for watching. Next up is Sara Bareilles' 2019 album, Amidst the Chaos. It's decent. I don't love it, but there are a couple of songs on it which I do like. So, stay tuned for that. And as always, stay minty.